This one West world.
I guess I should ride with Lex.
They talk about man. Oh, no. Yo, it's about time, so no curses to our enemies. You can try to run where you going, it's your destiny. You gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to win, then you get another legacy.
It's gotta do the shit, when I do it carefully. You can lose everything you own over jealousy. When I met her, I ain't never sweat her, I just let her breathe. See you down, keep my foot on you, that's not my pedigree. At your throat, I done took her oath, I pray I never leave. I'm a different guy, your surprise tucked in my sleeve. Boy, you fucking stupid, soldier seat for some bloody bees. True nation, cut the conversation, better keep it brief.
It's about time, so no curses to our enemies. You can try to run where you going, it's your destiny. You gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy.
It's about time, send them curses to them enemies. You can try to run where you going, this your destiny. Fusion gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy. It's about time, send them curses to them enemies. You can try to run where you going, this your destiny. Fusion gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy. They don't wanna know, we tell them, they just won't believe. It's about the journey, I ain't worried, moving at my speed. Saying we ain't much to be desired, gotta disagree. Sparring one of mine, then we spinning like rotisserie. Go against the odds, I'm ready, this another victory. Cut different, niggas moving foul, where the referee. Moving like the military, something they ain't never seen. It's the one West world for the people, this is what they need.
It's about time, so no curses to our enemies. You can try to run where you going, it's your destiny. You gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy.
Man, it's gonna save all them tapes right now. Yo. And then the reading right here is she asked if I'm a prophet. I said absolutely. 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 And when I walk through the door, bitch, you best salute me. Best salute me. Absolutely. She asked if I'm a prophet. I said absolutely. 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 And when I walk through the door, bitch, you best salute me. Best salute me. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bible in my right and a chopper in my other hand.
Everybody is trying to find and recreate the identity of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Every few years, black people get a new identity.
America wants the black man, the Latino man, the Native American man to his blood, sweat, and tears. They work us to the damn bone.
Come and pay a visit for your last year. I'm truly up. Make a move unless we tune you up. Absolutely, man. We know you future. You ain't fooling us. With them things, bitches trying to cool it up.
Our state, this whole world was made for blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And the other nations know it. And because the other nations know it, they make sure to keep us underneath them. But for the fifth angel of the Lord, come upon you, black man, Native American Indian man, Hispanic man. You understand? It's about to get oppressive out here. You only have I know, man. You only have I know of all the families on the earth, man. Right? You only have I know, man. So therefore, he will punish us for all of our iniquities, which is our sins, man. Going out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of Jerry Hunt. We are not affiliated with any fake Israelite groups or anybody else. Today, we're bringing out the truth of the Bible, that the blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the true Jews that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
He gon' spot you, then get you. You don't speak about it, it's not an issue. This one West world got a ring to it. I married the truth, put a ring to it.
She asked if I'm a prophet. I said absolutely. 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 And when I walk through the door, bitch, you best salute me. Best salute me. Absolutely. She asked if I'm a prophet. I said absolutely. 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 And when I walk through the door, bitch, you best salute me.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. We're live with the Israelite School Universe of Practical Knowledge. Preaching Captain Not Isaac Michelle, the Isupk. Y'all should be able to hear and see me clear. Y'all let me know we should be good in the game. All right, Most High in Christ. All right, we getting it on. Y'all by Shemal Shah Barathon to the brothers. Y'all with Shamar Alathan by Shemal Shah. To the sisters, Shamar Mahmoud, Deborah, Taza, Sister Shikal, Most High in Christ. All right. Everybody knows Sister Hadassah, Yum Yum. My man, Young Tazarai, Sister Aya, All Star Honor Roll students in here. All right. Hebrew scholars. All right. Most High in Christ. All right. We should be good. All right. So we're in the biblical scripture breakdown class. I tell you what. I should be. Bear with me just a moment because I'm hearing the reading. Everybody, y'all able to hear me clear? Just give me, hold on 1 second. Everybody, just give me one. Let me know if you're able to hear me clear. All right. Y'all give me some ones. I just want to do a check real quick. Let me know if y'all able to hear me clear. We're going to go ahead and get started as soon as I get that verified. Should have our problems all ironed out. We should be good to go. The water, y'all tuning in. We just asked we're gonna get started. Everybody, make sure you hit the like. All right, good. The ones coming in good and strong. I see them moving good, looking alive and ready. All right, everybody, just make sure you hit them likes, hit the shares, the likes, the subscribes, the thumbs up on all your social media channels and everything. We getting in here, the ISUPK. You understand? In Virginia. You understand? Most High in Christ, the ones that's pouring in the water to y'all. All right. So we going here with this biblical scripture breakdown class. Before we go ahead and get started, we have any questions? Any questions in the chat? Bring your questions, your Bible questions there. All right. There go our one. Ones. Good and solid. All right. Got the steer, GPS, all the above. All right. We're going to make it happen. Okay. Let's see. All right. No questions in here. We're going to go. Of course, we want to start with the Lord is teaching us. We went over what was a murder and all kind of crimes and laws about businesses and jobs. We went over that last week. You understand there's a lot of laws in the Bible. The laws that the Most High gave to us, Shalom sis, Yahweh Shema Thashim Yahweh Shai. The laws that the Lord gave to us, these contain our culture, our heritage, everything. They're all contained in these records and these laws. You understand? Everything that we happen to face, we going through right now, we've been through it all before. Our forefathers did, even we did in the previous life, and now we back here doing it all over again. You understand? All right. Let's see where we want to start. Okay. See, we might start at numbers, cities. Do I want 35? No, we went over the jobs. We went over the laws containing somebody's job. We're going to go to Numbers chapter 35 is where we're going to start. Numbers chapter 35. There we go. Numbers chapter 35 is where we're going to start. Everybody hearing me clear? No lag, no delays. We should be good. Nice and clear. All right. Shalom, Yagadah. Shem Shabrakatah. 500. Yagadizzo. There we go. We should be in the game. All right. So we'll start at Numbers chapter 35 and verse 1. Since nobody has any questions. Okay. I see Shalom, sis. All right. Shalom, shalom. All right. My shalom ka. Shalom yatawab, Shara. Shalom yatawab. Shalom yatawab. Shara ka. Shara nawa. You understand? Shara nawa tazara. Shalom, shalom. Akwab. The water. The water. Ahawabah Faizah. Shalom, shalom. All right. Hey, shalom, sis. Y'all was small. Thashimi, I was shy. Now, all right, we good to go. So, Numbers chapter 35 and verse 1, it says, all right, it says, and the Most High spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab, in the field of Moab. We were out in the field. This is before we got our own land. You understand? As a nation of people, we went without having our own land. We spent a great deal of time not having our own land, not having our homeland, being homeless, moving from place to place. So a lot of times in the law, you'll see and hear things talking about strangers. How you treat a stranger is very important. You understand? That's always been a part of our custom. The most important thing the Lord wanted to make sure that we knew was to how to treat each other. We never had a problem treating another nation of people well. We never had a problem making them feel welcome and being accommodating to them. That's how the other nations were able to rob and exploit us and everything else. You understand? The oppressor, when he came from Spain, he said that these were the best people I've ever met. These were known travel. The Spanish Armada had gone all over the world, just like many of the Europeans were seafaring people, because they all had to take boats to leave Europe because Europe doesn't have any natural resources. Most of Europe is completely without resources. They certainly weren't mining uranium, you understand, back in the Greco-Roman days and times. So they didn't have useful resources or oil or things like they have and use now that they would consider a resource. So what we end up having is we're getting instructions, just like any good parent would do. For those of you who are parents, especially mothers always give instructions. Before we get in here, this is how you're going to act. Don't show your tail in here. Don't act up. Don't cut up. Make sure you behave. Don't act like you never been nowhere before. Don't act like you ain't eaten all day. We got food at home. No, you cannot spend the night. You understand? Be on your best behavior. Do not show out in front of these people when we get in here. These is the same instructions that the Lord has given us as we are in the wilderness preparing to go into our land. So in Numbers chapter 35 and verse 1, and it's important just as a sidebar for us to learn what these rules are, because the Lord is getting ready to destroy America and all the governments of our enemies. All the world's powers, all the world's stability is getting ready to go away in the Third World War. Most Blacks and Latinos are completely oblivious to international news, mainly because we believe that we're on the team of another race of people, chiefly the white man, because we are in his religion. You understand? So we are not abreast of what's happening internationally. The rest of the planet is preparing for World War III. Of course, you can take it for granted that we're saying that, but the laws and things that are being passed in America are being done to prepare the oppressor and his people for the fall, not just of America and of the dollar, but for the international fall and backlash of white supremacy being challenged worldwide. That's what the BRICS is. That's what China represents. That's what all the Africans overthrowing the Europeans and kicking them out of West and Central Africa and Sahel and Mali and Niger. A lot of things that the average black person is not even on a black or Latino's mind because of the amount of problems and things we have as a people in captivity. These are the things that concern a free man. And because our people are not free, we don't understand the important things about what a free man would be concerned of. The Lord has given us instructions on how to behave and carry ourselves so that we can get into the practice of learning how to be a free man. Our people behave very poorly because Christianity teaches us that we are supposed to relegate ourselves to a position of Serbians under the white man, because Jesus is white, God is white, God's mom is white, Mary is white, the disciples are white, everything about God is white, which is the exact opposite. Once you read the Bible, you find out that the so-called white man is the oppressor, the devil, or the deceiver that God warned us about all throughout the Bible. And as a people right now, we've taken the customs and cultures of our oppressors. And just like when we were in ancient Egypt, which is who America patterned itself after, the Greco-Roman Empire was patterned after ancient Egypt. You understand? So what we end up having is, what's that noise? Okay, this y'all. Okay, shalom. So Burgatha, what we end up having
What's going on?
is shalom, Shib Burgatha. We end up having our lives being patterned after another nation of people. The Lord is telling us how to properly change our behaviors, our mind, our outlook on what we are and are not supposed to do before our parent, the Most High, takes us into this new place. You better behave, you understand, when we get there. So Numbers chapter 35 and verse 1. All right, you can go ahead and read it. I guess you hear Yagadah, Most High in Christ.
Come.
Yagadah joining 500. Shimshah break a thumb.
This is Numbers chapter 35, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying,
this is where we were. We were in the plains of Moab. Moab is the so-called Chinese. It is the predominant family of all the Asians on the earth. You understand? The biggest family of the Asians is Moab. You understand? For those you would look at the Moabites, most of the Moabites that you're seeing, they selectively bred to make themselves lighter and lighter and lighter. The rest of Asia is filled with dark-skinned people. The people you see on the anime cartoons is how they describe and wish themselves to be whiter and whiter with big open eyes like a regular person. But that's not what the majority of the Asians look like in actual Asia. That's what you got to look like to be on TV. Unless you're going to be in the boxing arena, whooping everybody's head and elbowing and kneeing people in the face, then you're allowed to be dark-skinned. You understand? So we are in the plains of Jericho. This is talking about blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is where we come from. Jordan is in the Middle East. Right now, they have a war going on in Jordan, right by Yemen and Lebanon and Palestine, the same land that has always had war. Even when we were there, we had to have war to keep it. Why does this matter? Because in order for us to stay above our enemies, which we have tons of, we have to understand that there's a code of conduct we must have with each other, because this is how we are going to be represented to the rest of the world. And right now, we must clean up our image to the rest of the world by fixing ourselves, fixing our people. That is done by keeping the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why this is what we're reading. So we're in the plains of Moab. There would be the city. You would have the open fields. You understand? It's known as the plains. The land itself belonged to the Moabites, but this is their field. That means that this is not an area where they have development in cities and towns and things, because it's in the fields. Most people live in a city. A city has a high concentration of resources. This is why, for you officers, I've asked you many times before, do you know how to build a city, how to set up a city, how to set up these things there? Well, this is in the law telling us how to do it. We might need to have to set up a city again. You know, who knows? America's going down. The damn federal judges is planning on getting their own separate military security forces, because nobody does what the hell they say, because they loyal to Donald Trump. And Trump don't give a damn about no federal judges, states' rights, city rights, Senate rights, the due process. You don't give a damn about none of that. You understand? So that's what we're coming to. And the Lord gave us these records to understand how we are supposed to be in order as a nation, preparing for the fall of our enemies, which is what we're doing now, which is what he was telling us to do in Egypt. All right. So keep going.
Verse 2. Command the children of Israel.
Command. A command is an order. These things aren't suggestions. He's saying, this is my orders. Moses was a military general. The Lord is a man of war, militancy. That's how it is to serve God. That's how it is in the Bible. That's how our nation has always been. And that is the only way we will survive as a people, is to have the spirit of the Lord, a militant spirit, when we are always surrounded by other nations of people who would seek to destroy us, which is important to know. That's why the Lord's commandments are orders and not suggestions, which is what Christianity taught us. Keep going.
That they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of their possessions, city. That they give unto the
Levites.
That they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of their possession cities to dwell in.
Now it's saying to give unto the Levites of their inheritance. The Levites have inheritance, but their inheritance is not the land. The children of Israel are to give to the Levites, their people, their brothers. The Levites were the priest at the time. The Lord had always intended for the priests to be all of the 12 tribes of Israel. He wanted the whole nation to have priests, not just one tribe, but you have to start somewhere. These were always plans that the Lord had from the very beginning, but the Bible is unfolding what happened. Everybody didn't understand what the Lord wanted to do. And at the time when we were given these instructions, these are real live people. These aren't men that have the whole script sitting in front of them so they can skip to chapter 20 and find out what happens in chapter 20. They had to live chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You understand? The Bible is not magic. God is not magic. Serving the Most High is not magic. That's an important thing to know. You understand? So he's saying, make sure that you cover your brothers who are the Levites with your possessions, because these brothers don't get their own. They're not going to work the land like you are going to work the land. They're not going to go out and do the jobs and everything that you are going to do to gain wealth and revenue. You are going to work, and you are going to bring the portion of your own labor to the men that God has already appointed to make sure that the things that God wants done amongst all of our people, everywhere the hundreds of millions of us are, wherever we are scattered throughout all of our lands, that we are all on the same page, that we don't have different gods, that we all believe and say the same things. You understand? That's what the priests were for. The priests are back doing the same thing again. All right, so keep going.
And ye shall give also unto the Levites suburbs for the cities round about them.
Now, suburbs, these are places outside of the city. You have to build them, meaning you are going to construct these places for your brothers to live. Who knows what the Levites did? What was the Levites' job? Who knows? Not Yagadar. I don't want to hear from Yagadar. I want to hear from anybody else. Not Matazah, not Yagadar. What did the Levites do? What was their job? Like, all right. Sister Shakar said teach. She said teach. That's right. They did teach. That's right, sister. They teach. They taught. Counsel. That's correct. They gave counsel. That is correct, sister. Mr. Rise said they did counsel. They did counsel too. That's right. Give. Lay. I'm going to take that thing. As I recall saying, give the law. That is correct. They gave the law. That's right. They did something else with that law too. That's very important. Something real important about that. Maintain order and decorum. That's right, sis. You got to maintain it. The law is useless if there's no body of enforcement on that law. You understand? The Levites enforced that law. They enforced the hell out that law. Law enforcement, yes. built into our society, we had law enforcement. That's right, Yabakar. We had our own law enforcement. Because Christians were told to vote for their leaders, marrying us to America's racist politics after Jim Crow, after redlining, after 100 years of lynching and centuries of slavery and racist laws, the Casual Killing Act, all kind of laws creating a runaway slave patrol catcher force. You understand? Black Christian leaders in the 60s, when we were our strongest and had so much strength, we were divided all of our strength into Islam and Black Panthers and city organization groups and right-wing church groups, and we black and black this, and eventually it all devolved into street gangs and politics, and the cities fell apart. The Lord gave us rules, and enforcing those rules were the men of the Lord. No one can be in charge of Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who are not the men of the Lord. Nobody should be able to come and go through a training with some secular people in the world to deal with the children of God. You understand? Going to the police academy is not how you became law enforcement over our people. Had we stayed separate and obeyed the Lord, and if we separate and come back to the Most High again, the Lord is going to set us on our own. Every nation of people has their own problems and issues in America. Everybody is not sitting in the courtroom every time Mei Ling and Dong Wong have a marital dispute. They're not going down to the white man's courthouse to get a divorce. Even though the divorce rate in China is sky high, which a lot of Americans don't realize. China is probably the central country that does the most business with the United States in the Asian world, probably next to Japan. You understand? Like, they have a very high divorce rate amongst themselves, but in this land here, you're not hearing about all of their marital and family issues. They got all kind of honor killings and all kind of stuff going on with the Arabs and the East Indians. That stuff is not being reported so that a white man can help them decide their Asian, Arab, East Indian affairs. The only reason our business is going to the white man's court system is because the Christian preacher and the United States government work to destroy strong men of God. They work to make the black man too soft, too weak, the Latino too soft, too weak, too colonized, too Americanized, too shaved face, slick back, bald head, shaped up headed. You understand? To serve the God of the Bible that is against every other nation of people that does not go along to get along and is not trying to be your friend. You understand? So these things are important to know because they are extremely important, and America is getting ready to turn on black people. Black people don't realize America is turning on them because most black people think that you're different than a Mexican or Puerto Rican or an El Salvadorian or a Venezuelan. The average black person thinks that they're different from a Mexican because they have quote unquote citizenship. The same citizenship lie that they promised to the Latinos after they went and killed all the Taliban in Iraq and Afghanistan. You understand that they've now revoking and kicking 500,000 Venezuelans and Cubans and Haitians and Zebulon out the damn country. 500,000 people. You understand? The Lord has been telling us to gather ourselves together for decades here in this land, in America, and our people have not done it. And this has left us open and exposed without the protection of the Lord. As our oppressor comes down and is getting ready to be brought down to his judgment from the Lord, he has a short time, just like it says in Revelation. And he come down with great wrath. That's what Donald Trump is doing. These white people just want to bomb and destroy entire countries because they're losing their control over their once politically held lands, like in Africa, like in the Middle East. That's why they killed Muammar Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein. They didn't have a problem with any of the quote unquote atrocities that they were doing. But after you remove Muammar Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein, the people that they were quote unquote committing atrocities against later became your goddamn Taliban and your Al-Shabaab, spreading all throughout Somalia and west all the way to East Africa and all throughout the rest of the Middle East. And now ISIS is the damn government of Afghanistan after you remove leaders ruling over their own land, which the Lord said you are not supposed to do. Like everything in this place is against the Most High. And that's why the Lord has given us instructions on what we are supposed to do when we get put back to our land to set ourselves up again. All right. So now he's saying make cities, make suburbs, so that you can have cities outside of the main city where you're having all your business, your travel, your traffic, your transport, your courthouses, your government offices. Those are the things of what's in the city and downtown areas. The Bible gives us instructions to create suburbs. You don't want to live downtown from the city where all your business things and stuff and trade and travel is going. You want to have a place to live that is outside of it. That's the suburbs. America did not have suburbs until the National Highway Act. They created suburbs to cut the black communities in half in Detroit, in Baltimore, in Harlem, in Philly, to cut our cities apart with national highways. God told us to make suburbs in the Bible. Like the Lord gave us instructions on how to set up and make a society that's probably gone over most of you all's heads sitting in the classroom. You understand? We weren't supposed to stay just sitting in the city somewhere. You're supposed to go and move in a different place and set up our own cities in town, which we did, but they went and blew them all up, burned them up, and flooded the town. You understand? So keep going.
Verse 3, and the cities shall they have to dwell in.
You're going to live in the cities. Keep going.
And the suburbs of them shall be for their cattle.
For what?
For their cattle.
For our cattle. We are supposed to have our own food supply. You understand? That's what your cattle. You take their hide and make clothes and make garments and make coats. You take their body and make oxtails. Make oxtails and sirloin and steak and burgers and cow this and horn this and rawhide rope. You understand? That cattle is very useful. Tills your soil, stomps your land, so you can plant fields and fields of corn and potatoes and tomatoes and agriculture. This is the strength of a nation. That's what America's learning as they deport all of their agricultural workers and throw them out the damn country, then complain that your grocery stores are empty. You understand? So keep going.
And for their goods.
For their goods. Keep going.
And for all their beasts.
All your beasts. Your beasts don't go in the city limits. You don't want your cattle roaming and your pigs and your camel and your goats and your sheep running around the damn city. They need to be outside of the city in a place that's filled with grass, not a place filled with roads and businesses and buildings. You don't have them wandering around. You can go see the other nations of people like the East Indians who worship the cow, and the cow walking down the street on a rope like you have a pit bull, and the cow just get pissed off and kill 3 people and flip over a truck and just run away. You understand? Because the heathens are not wise, but the Lord gave us wisdom. You understand? So keep going.
Verse 4, and the suburbs of the cities.
The suburbs of the cities.
Which she shall give unto the Levites.
The Levites are going to live in these places, entire cities where the priests are going to live. All right, keep going.
Shall reach from the wall of the city and outward 1,000 cubits round about.
They're going to give you the dimensions of how far away from the city it's supposed to be. Very skilled instructions. You want to know why you go to the construction site and all you see is blacks and Latinos? Because we've been doing the Lord's construction. The Lord made construction workers. You understand? We built America. The Gadites had all kind of construction built in America before the white man came. They lie and tell you all the Native Americans were living in teepees. That's a goddamn lie. Everybody wasn't living in teepees. The Gadites who lived in the plains, they lived in teepees. The Midwest and Texas and Oklahoma and Arizona, they lived in teepees. The Gadites on the East Coast, they lived in what's known as the Long House. The white man call it a log cabin. Log cabins come from the Gadites. They do not come from colonial settlers and Quakers. You understand? When they had their first Thanksgiving, white people did not live in log cabins. That's Native American culture. All right. So keep going.
Verse 5. And ye shall measure from without the city on the east side.
No sweat. Skip down to verse 6. He just giving measurements. Skip down to verse 6.
Come. Verse 6. And among the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites, there shall be 6 cities for refuge.
Cities for refuge for what? Why do there need to be cities for refuge? Is getting ready to explain. Because the Bible is not magic. That's why you got rules and laws and commandments to follow and orders that everyone is being taught, because the Jews are black. And we just now coming out of slavery. Everybody don't have the spirit of the Lord. Niggas gonna get into arguments and fights and all kind of stuff. That's why a brother, sister coming to the school, they off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to learn and share themselves with the world. We are starting our society over with all the hundreds of millions of us as a people. We are on foot, living in tents with all of our stuff, families, kids, and animals in the wilderness. You understand? We are working to become the children of God. We getting instructions. Now we got to go through some trial and error. And in that process, you understand, there must be a city of refuge. You understand? Keep going.
Which ye shall appoint for the manslayer.
For the manslayer. Who knows what a manslayer is? Keep reading. Y'all type in, what is a manslayer? While Yagadar keep reading.
That he may flee thither. And to them ye shall add 42 cities.
You're supposed to make 42 cities. The manslayer must have a place to go. Why? What is a manslayer? We're going to find out in the Bible. The Lord is going to tell us. All right. Give me verse 7.
Come. Verse 7. So all the cities which ye shall give to the Levites shall be 48 cities.
The Levites going to have 48 cities to be in charge of. You're not going to vote for a leader. You're not going to vote for a mayor and a governor and then people running the town, and some corrupt mayor is taking bribes to do backdoor deals and he pocketing the education money. You ain't choosing a goddamn thing. The Lord chose. The priest was bred to do this job. You going to build the city. They going to establish the cities and the rules and everything else. And you're going to live under their rules that the Lord is telling Moses, that Moses is raising up the Levites. And that's your law enforcement / priest built in to regulate all of our towns, cities, and societies. No free will, no free choice, none of this. I'm independent, my own way. That's how you die. We in the wilderness. You're going to be independent, disobeying the Lord, and get kidnapped by some Moabites and sold to some Ishmaelites and end up in a damn brothel somewhere because you independent all over the goddamn place. The Lord didn't make that. The Lord made us a nation. Time out for this individual garbage. We the only race of people in America where everybody is an individual. On the bottom, losing everything. Individual, strong as hell. You understand? That's not how the Lord set things up. Keep going.
Them shall ye give with their suburbs.
With their suburbs, cities and suburbs built together. All right. First question.
8.
What is a man? I see no one responding to the question, so I'm going to type it in there. What is a manslayer? Says it in the Bible. What is a manslayer? You understand? What's a manslayer? These laws are not put in the Bible for no reason. Who you think is shooting up all your neighborhood and your community? Where you think they magically going to go? They going to not be shooters because we get in the wilderness? You figure we're going to get together and sing and hold hands? Why do you think we had a Hebrew academy? It's not for magic. We're not going to pray the problem away. Christians try to pray at the child molester. Christians want to pray at the drug dealer. They want to pray at the kidnapper. We're not going to pray at the kidnapper. Mama going to pray for the kidnapper. Going to pray that they change before the men of the Lord get to them. That's who got to pray, not us. You pray before the judgment of the Lord comes. We bring in the judgment of the Lord. It's too late at that point. You understand? That's why the priests are giving these laws to let you know. Dad said, before we get in here, y'all get to cutting up. It's going to be punishments issue. Murderer, police, no, not police. That's a good guess, sis. An unaliver, that's right, but it's too vague. A warrior, okay. I see y'all on it. Y'all dancing around it. Nah, it's good. Someone who unalived the person, that's right. Someone who unalived the person. The Lord is getting ready to lay out the specifics between different degrees of unaliving. It's important to do. You understand? It's very important to do. All right. So keep going from where you were.
Verse 8. And the cities which ye shall give shall be of the possession of the children of Israel.
Read that one more time.
And the cities which ye shall give shall be of the possession of the children of Israel.
The city shall be a possession for the children of Israel. Meaning all of these cities, the children of Israel are going to own these cities. That's something else. It's written a lot of times and it can be easy to overlook. But you're going to own these cities. Why does it keep saying the possession for the children of Israel? Because these things are the inheritance that the Lord gave us to own. The Lord gave us these things to own. Meaning this is our city. Right now, we don't even consider we living in cities that's owned by other people. Their name is the city. Murfreesboro, Williamstown, Greensville, Jonestown, Jamestown. We living in cities that come from the Dale family. This family, that's their name. A free man understands who owns the city matters. Lynch mobs of oppressors came to burn down cities because who owned the city? That's how they knew whose city they were burning down. Who owns the city? They running into jail to get a brother to lynch him in jail because they own the city. You understand? That's a very important thing. These are matters that a free man, the Lord is trying to teach us what freedom is about, how to have freedom. You understand? That's why we got a provision for everything already written in the law. All the cities which ye shall give to the Levites and give them their suburbs, possession to the children of Israel. Keep going.
From them that have many, ye shall give many. But
Hold
from
on,
them,
dog. Sound like you're breaking up on.
Salakia. From them that have many, ye
Salakia.
shall give many.
Okay, from them. Can everybody hear Yagadar clear? It sounds like it's breaking up on mine. Y'all hear him clear? Just give me a 1 if y'all can hear him clear. It says, but from them. All right. It happened. We should be back in there. All right, and here in Yagadar. Hold on, Yagadar. Let's see here. All right, y'all give me ones. Y'all should be able to hear and see me clear. Not sure what happened. All right, what about now? We should be good. Okay, I'm getting the ones. Y'all hearing Yagadar? Y'all hearing me? We should be good. All right. Let's see. All right, we good to go. All right. From them that have many, you shall give many, but for them that have a few, depending on the size of their family. These is brothers with family, they're getting in there. So you're telling them what size cities you're going to build for them. You understand? Imagine the construction quality of our cities. If you have all the 12 tribes together, all the Gadites, all of Reuben, all of Issachar, all of Asher, all of Zebulun, all of Judah and Benjamin, all of the cities, all of Ephraim, all the pyramids and architectures of the Maya, the Inca, the Aztec, everything we built and developed in Egypt, we were the senior developers and bricklayers and stonemasons. You understand? Nobody made greater architecture and works than we did. You understand? So we building cities all together. The Lord gave us this inheritance. All right. So go ahead and skip down to verse 10.
Come, verse 10. Speak unto the children of Israel.
He said, talk to the children of Israel. This is only to us. The Lord is not talking to anybody else. All throughout the Bible, you young brothers and sisters, all throughout the Bible, God is only talking to our people. That's why it says the children of Israel. In the New Testament, it says saints. It says saints, saints, saints. The saints are the children of Israel. You read that in Exodus chapter 24, verse 7 and 8. You got Psalms chapter 55, which says, my saints who have made a covenant by blood. I think it's 50 and 5. My saints who have made a covenant by blood. That you need to know who and what a saint is. Let me hold that. Let me pull that real quick. Let me make sure. As Christians talk about the saints, we had to do something that we have to do today at work in slavery. And it's called code switch. We had to speak in code. Psalms 50 and 5. Gather my saints together who've made a covenant by sacrifice. The covenant by sacrifice is Exodus chapter 24, verses 7 and 8. That's when Moses took the blood of the covenant with the elders of the children of Israel, read the book of the law, and we agreed that we would obey the Most High and do our part, and the Lord would do his part. And the blood of the covenant was made. That is what makes you a saint. And in the New Testament, it says the saints dozens of times because we had to speak in code because the white man, the Greeks and the Romans were ruling over us, and they forced us to not take our normal culture. The same way that once you get a job and you have a business and you have to talk differently from how you would normally speak at home, how you would normally speak amongst your people, amongst your friends, your family, your relatives, you have to use a different type of voice. Today they call it code switching. Well, we had to speak this way in code because we were under siege from another nation of people. All right. So that's just a sidebar. Go ahead back and read what you're doing from Numbers, Yagador.
Numbers chapter 35, verse 10. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come over Jordan into the land of Canaan.
Right. When you get into the land of Canaan, we all going together now. Just imagine tomorrow, the Lord deliver us. We out of captivity. All the prisons open. We all going together in the wilderness. Whoever the Lord don't kill, we in the wilderness. Everybody got to leave. If you was rich, you was poor, everybody got nothing. All together in the wilderness. Everybody. We all getting evicted together. The political leaders, everybody. That's why the Lord did so much killing while we were in the wilderness. It took 40 years of killing to get us to be a full nation and obey him. You understand? Again, it was not magic. You understand? So keep going.
Verse 11. Then ye shall appoint you cities to be cities of refuge for you.
Right. Cities of refuge. Why does it keep talking about the cities of refuge? because we got millions of niggas living in the wilderness together, and something might go down. You know, y'all know. Keep going.
That the slayer may flee thither,
That the slayer may run to this place. Keep going.
which killeth any person at unawares.
Which accidentally kills somebody. This is what it's talking about. Why does it say that? I'm getting ready to tell you why. Keep going.
Verse 12. And they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avenger.
From the avenger. Who's the avenger? Keep going.
That the manslayer die not.
That the man who accidentally took somebody's life, that he doesn't die. Because again, those cousins, those uncles, they coming to get you. They don't want to hear your explanation as to why you accidentally killed their little brother. They don't give a damn why you accidentally killed him. They know he gone and you still alive, and that's not going to work. So there must be cities where you can live. I never knew that term code switching meant. Okay, no sweat, warrior. Yeah, you got to speak on code because you can't be black at work. You can't be too black. You get in trouble. Being black is still a crime. Being Latino is still a crime. That's why if you learn and you speak Spanish at work to Latinos, a lot of Latino brothers and sisters will answer you in English because they don't, you trying to make me look like a nigga at work? What are you trying to do to me? It was hard enough for these people to let me be in here in their office, and now you're going to highlight the fact that I'm a nigga speaking this nigga language? No. Hey, buenos dias. Good morning, Richard. Good morning. Good morning, John. My name is Castillo and Ramirez and Diaz. I want them to find out I'm the children of the slaves. Wait a minute now. It was hard enough getting in here. All right. Just hi. Good morning. Hello. So nice to see you. Thank you so much. Not gonna say that. Hey, good looking out. Appreciate it, babe. We're good looking out. That's unprofessional. Until white people start to take the slang that we use and make it a part of their everyday speech, then they start saying, I'm just looking out for you, man. At the end of the day, we all can get along and, it's no big deal, no biggie. They'll start to incorporate our slang because we are the salt of the earth and they can't help but incorporate what we do and say because the Lord made one people better than every other people. And it's just a better way of talking. That's why everybody who comes to America to learn English, they learn the slang that black people teach everybody, not the proper white man's English. Most of America is speaking in slang. You understand? So keep going.
Until he stand before the congregation in judgment.
He's not going to make it to court. He's not going to make it to court because I have 9 cousins. I got 9 cousins, 6 brothers-in-law, and they not trying to hear why we were working at the construction site and you went to cut down the tree and the axe slipped out your hand and fell and bust my head open and now I'm gone. Don't nobody give a damn about your accident. You're not going to make it to court. You understand? This is how a free people operates. You got to get to that city of refuge. The priests run the city of refuge. So if some new person running for his life show up to the city, you understand, there's nobody in this city but the priest and their family. What are you doing running for your life in the city of refuge? I accidentally did this and that. Well, now you made it to the priest. Now you can have a trial. The Lord is going to make sure you have a trial now because you made it to the priest. If you don't make it to the priest, the Lord didn't want you to get a trial. You understand? The Lord wanted them cousins to catch you and kill you for what you did. Otherwise, you would have made it to the city of refuge. You understand? How do we know this is what the Lord wants? Because I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver from my hand. These are, pull that scripture and put it up here in the message of Yagadar. I want to teach you all this while I'm talking. These are the important things for us to know about true spirituality. The Lord say, I kill and I make alive. That says a number of things. Number one, you want to be very cautious that you are not someone that's taking somebody else's life. You understand? Because you could be an evil bastard that the Lord trying to set you up to get your life taken. You want to make sure that you are keeping the covenant that the Lord gave. It says, see now that I, even I am he. I am he. What does that mean? I am he. That's black man talk. I'm that nigga. See now, this is me. I'm that nigga. There is no God with me. Nobody up here but me. Just me. By myself. You understand? I kill. Whoever died, I took their life. And I make alive. Whoever lives, I let them live. I give life. I wound. Somebody get hurt, I did it. And heal. Somebody get better after they get hurt, I did it. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Nobody gets out of my hand. Nobody. It's best for you to do what I say so that I will be on your side instead of me having to hurt and kill and wound you repeatedly. The Lord said, this is take my word and learn about me. This is in the law. This is what we're supposed to learn. Before we go to school and get influenced by the job and the work and the musicians and the rappers and Diddy and everybody else and social media and TikTok and Cardi B and Sexy Red, you understand, and the politicians and the new legislation, the Lord wanted his influence to be the dominant factor. All right? Nobody gets delivered out of my hand. All right? So keep going. Go back to Numbers where you were reading.
Numbers chapter 35 and verse 13. And of these cities which ye shall give, 6 cities shall ye have for refuge.
You're going to have cities of refuge. That these people who accidentally take somebody's life, they got to run for their life because nobody is supposed to feel safe after you take somebody's life. You don't get a reputation. You don't become a star. You don't get a rap career. You don't get to brag about it on social media and smoke on your enemies and joke. No. You're not supposed to have families that's too weak that there are no slayers or avengers of blood coming to see about that. Slavery has made us so weak as a people that we don't want justice for the death of our people. We just want to hug somebody. We just want to sing. We just want to, just want to invite them to church next Sunday. No. You understand? That's not the spirit of the Lord. That ain't the right spirit. The Lord didn't want us in the spirit to be a willing abuser or a willing abusee. Just taking abuse and just singing and smile about it. That is not what Christ said. That's not what turn the other cheek mean. At no time should you be getting beaten and abused and just taken on the chin because this is what would Jesus do. That's church. Nobody in here gets beaten and abused and none of that. You call the school. You understand? You don't get to beat and abuse anybody in here. You understand? You face judgment for what you do in here. The same way the Lord is saying you're supposed to face judgment according to the law. If not by us, by the Lord will face judgment. You understand? Have judgment on you. Because unlike in the world, our people in here are required to obey the Most High. That is what the Levites set up the cities for. You're required to obey the Lord in these cities. You understand? All right, so let's see where we at. Cities of refuge, 6 cities. All right, give me verse 15.
This is Numbers chapter 35, verse 15. These 6 cities shall be a refuge, both for the children of Israel.
For the children of Israel.
And for the stranger.
For the stranger. Keep going.
and for the sojourner among them.
For the children of Israel and for the stranger, someone not from your city, and for the sojourner. Who is a sojourner? That is someone that's traveling through. What is a stranger? Let's get some examples, because there are different types of strangers in the Bible. These are the laws. In the Bible, there are different types of strangers. All right? So now you have a stranger that the laws apply to. This stranger, that's why he's saying the cities of refuge are for the strangers. We got a law that the other nations of people aren't allowed to join us and be a part of our families. So when it's talking about a stranger, we got to see what this is talking about. So let's get some more. All right. So now let's say we are from Judah. Who's not a Judite in here? Yerashimov is a Gadite. Well, if Yerashimov has to come through the land of Judah with his family on his way to get to wherever, okay, the Passover, perfect. Let's just use something else, not the Passover, because everybody has to come to the land for Passover. So let's say you have to, he's not a Judite. So he would be from the land of Gad. So the land, let's see if we can pull up a map here. He would be from the land of Gad. We don't need a map. From the land of Gad. So him and his family, they would be passing through the land of Judah. He got to stay in Judah for a little while. They need a place to stay. Got a long journey. Ran out of money. Some extra expenses happened, whatever the case is. But he's a stranger now. He's not from here. He didn't grow up with us because he's not a Judite. He's from the land of Gad. He's got his family. He's got his children. He needs to be able to earn and have a place to stay while he's in the land of Judah. But there's a problem. He's working. Something happened. The axe slipped. He's chopping down wood or something because he's a wood man. Chopping down wood, getting firewood and logs for a construction company. Brother's going to build a city for some rich brother, but the axe slipped. The axe accidentally slipped, and now he ended up hitting somebody with the damn axe. All of a sudden, he hit somebody with the axe. It's an accident. He didn't mean to do it. He wasn't doing it on purpose. But now, let's not use Yerashimov. Let's use another Gadite. I want to make Yerashimov catch a body hypothetically in the class. Let's not use Yerash. Another unknown Gadite is working, traveling with his family. He got to stay here to earn some more money so he can get to wherever the hell him and his family is going. He does some work. He working, he doing good. They chopping down logs and stuff in the forest to make new houses, new suburbs. That axe slipped. He ended up busting somebody in the head. That head split open, game over. Well, whoever this is, he accidentally killed. He got about 4 or 5 sons, 2 or 3 wives, 7 or 8 brothers and sisters, a bunch of brothers-in-laws, a bunch of nephews, couple of grandkids. He got a whole damn neighborhood after him because this unnamed Gadite accidentally let the axe slip and bust and kill some Judite in the land of Judah. Well, he's a stranger. He's not from Judah. His kids and family didn't grow up with us, but you can't go and kill his family because you got beef with him because he accidentally took somebody's life. But he got to get out the city. Everybody at the construction site know, oh, you done killed so-and-so. What happened? So-and-so laying there with the split open head with a half-chopped tree and an axe. Everybody at the construction site here except for this unknown Gadite. Well, now there's a dead brother here. This got to be dealt with. The brother that accidentally did this, he got to get out the city. He got to flee. He got to run. You're supposed to. You got to get to the city of refuge so that you know that you don't get to go back to your family. You don't get to go back to your wife and your kids and record a diss song about who you smoking on your ops. You don't get to do that. This is a terrible thing that happened, that everyone's life involved is changed. He got to get to that city of refuge and stay there until it's time for him to go to court. if he makes it to the Levites and able to tell them what happened so that they can go back and conduct an investigation. You're not supposed to stick around. In this society, you have to be trained that you're supposed to stick around. You got to explain what happened to the police. This was an accident, all of this stuff, make your statement. You understand? You got to call, give a report to Shamar, all of this, something happened. We got protocol. We report all incidents and interactions with the police. Lord willing, they're not a murder or accidentally manslaughter, but those things get reported because there's someone responsible. Same way that it gets reported, it goes to the Levites who keep a track of who lives in their cities of refuge. These things are important. This is how you make sure that there aren't missing people by the thousands in every damn city, because politicians are in charge instead of the men of the Lord, who's forcing people to take a head count of who's in your land, in your territory, and who's missing. You understand? So now witnesses are involved. The priest is coming with horses and swords, and a court date is called. Who was there? What was going on? But you don't make it to the court date unless you get to the city of refuge. All right? Bring up the question. Officer Yabakar got a question that says, Salakia, were the priests that taught the laws of the Most High the same ones that taught us to read and write, etc., or was it a separate school? The priests were teaching and working in the temple. Your parents were teaching you how to read and write. This whole concept of going to the skills that you were going to learn, because we're in captivity now, our kids, for the most part, are sent to a school where the oppressor educates them. The things that we were learning came from our parents. That's who we learned from. You understand? That's why it said, teach these laws diligently to thy children. Before they learn anything, make sure they learn these rules. Before they find out what something is, make sure they already know what the Lord said about it. So by the time they get to see someone lighting something on fire to their lips, they've known since before they got teeth that you don't set anything on fire and put it to your lips. That's an ungodly man. You're going to get killed. Where's my stones? You're getting up out of here. We can't be friends. We're not, hey, what you got here? Oh, I seen so-and-so do this. Let me spark this up. Hey, you want some? No. Stones in the face. You getting drug out the city, your life is over. Because we're not going back into captivity because you don't want to obey the laws and the Lord turn on us. Next thing you know, the angel is coming through the city killing us because you want to be a goddamn East Indian and smoke weed. We don't need you that bad. You're out of here. You understand? Or we can protect you and make excuses and then allow it to spread throughout the rest of the nation. And then in a generation or two, half of our race is strung out on drugs and half of our babies are born addicted to drugs. And now we have a whole nother set of problems when the Lord said that we should have just drug you out the tent and stoned you so that we never have a drug epidemic. Minus 20 or 30 people getting high, minus millions overdosing, dying, and being born on drugs. That's the Lord's solution. That's how free man thinks. You understand? You and your individual want is not more important than all of us. And Christianity teaches you that you are more important than all of the rest of your people because you got a personal Lord and Savior and you get personal salvation and you got personal relationship with Jesus. And God knows me personally. God don't know you. You don't talk to God. God doesn't talk to you. God deals with Commanding General Yohana. And all the rest of us are ordered by the Lord to repeat and live the way Commanding General Yohana told us to live. Because that's what God said. It's the same way. That's why every line starts with, every 10 lines says, and the Lord said unto Moses, say this to the children of Israel. The Lord didn't say a damn thing to nobody but Moses. You had better obey Moses because that's who the Lord put in charge. The people that tried to rival Moses, the Lord killed them. That's how you know the Lord wasn't with them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have died. You understand? The Lord didn't make life magic. You have to guess and be able to sing real good and dance real well and keep a bunch of secrets and special handshakes. The Lord did not make life a mystery. He explained his mysteries to the prophets and then told those prophets to go on the street and tell the children of Israel. God didn't make life a mystery. Church made life a mystery. You understand? All right. So now we learn how to read and write the Lashawan Quadash. We have to go to school. Now you got to go to the Isupk to learn our language. Your parents have to learn it so that they can teach you. You understand? All right. So keep going.
That every one that killeth any person unawares may flee thither.
Anyone who accidentally kills someone, that they get to leave. They got to get out the city. They got to flee. They're running for their lives. You understand? In a righteous society, even the Lord is going to give you a running chance. You're not going to stay there and talk about it. In this society, you're going to stay there and talk. They're probably going to take you to the station. They're going to get your statement. What happened? Was it self-defense? Was it an accident? You know, that's what you're supposed to do now. Not then. You got to run to that city of refuge. The Avengers are coming after you. All right? And they have a right to be angry. And if they get to you, they have a right to take your life if you don't make it to the city of refuge. These are the protocols that the Lord put in there. The Lord did not put in there for you to just sit and grieve with the mama over there and the sisters and aunt and his rib sitting there crying with his dead body there. And we just, oh, well, you know, he in the big field in the sky. He up there with mama and aunt. No, damn that. He's dead in the grave. And now we are coming with a bunch of brothers and we are on our way to see you if you don't make it to the city of refuge. The Lord gave them that right because the Lord is not putting people on the earth just to get killed and everybody's life become normal. What is this going to force you to do? It's going to force you to make safety regulations so that nobody accidentally get their head split open with an axe. It's going to force you to have people that's paying attention. It's going to force you to make sure you only got skilled laborers doing the job. It's going to force you to make sure that your equipment works properly. Is the safety zones properly? Is the training prepared properly? Is this enough time? Is there a probationary period? Who's authorized to use certain material? Who can you hire to do this job? Do they have experience? Can they be trusted? Are we checking to make sure that you know everybody is staying alive? Who's running this business? Who's in charge? Somebody hiring people off the street to cut down trees? 10 people that died working this job? The goddamn city of refuge is turning into an apartment complex? What's going on? This forces people to be very responsible with other people's lives, which was the point and the spirit of the law. We didn't have the spirit back then, so you better make it to the city of refuge if you accidentally take a man's life. Keep going.
Verse 16. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron.
If he take an instrument of iron, a pipe, or whatever. Today, the instrument of iron is the barrel that lines your firearm. If you smite him with an instrument of iron, you hit somebody with iron, however you do it. Keep going.
So that he die.
If you hit someone with some iron and they die, keep going.
He is a murderer.
You are a murderer. God calling you a murderer. God going to tell you what a murderer is. Because the oppressor make a law called the Casual Killing Act and let you smite someone with an instrument of iron and tell you you ain't done nothing wrong. That's why the oppressor is a deceiver. He deceives you into thinking you are allowed to take someone's life without consequence. You get to keep your job and you go back to work after 2 weeks of paid vacation. You do not, even if it was an accident. Everyone's life is changed behind this. We're not just going to get over it and pretend like it didn't happen the next day, the way they make you do in this society. That's wrong. This is an evil place that destroys our people. Us never getting justice, never being allowed to get justice, to want justice, to know what justice is. That makes a society turn lawless. You understand? And that's what we have. A society filled with people where no one gets justice. Well, in here in the Isupk, we get justice because we serve the Most High. The Lord said, you are a murderer. Keep going.
The murderer shall surely be put to death.
We're not going to pray about it. Ain't going to be no prayer. You hit someone with an instrument of iron and they die. That's it. You're going to be put. Not he going to die. He's going to be put to death. Somebody going to put you in death. You understand? That's serving the Lord. You don't get to take people's life. You don't get to do that. Don't give a damn if you 14, 55, 35, 45, 105. You don't get to take people's life. Just because, whatever the case is, that is the end of your life. You don't get to keep living. Your family doesn't get to keep you while his family loses him. You understand? That's righteousness. What is the proper spirit? For everybody go vigilante, for everybody ever did you wrong. The spirit is for you to control yourself and not hit someone with a weapon of iron for whatever reason you think. If you're not defending your life or we are not in a war, you should not just be going around hitting people with iron, taking people's life, being a robber, murderer, a thief. That's what the heathen do. These are the rules the Lord gave us to make us better. Think of how dangerous it was growing up in the black community, in the ghetto, in the hood, in the barrio, where you never knew who was going to rob somebody, who was going to shoot somebody, who was going to stab somebody. You understand? You don't know when is a safe time. Bullets going through your wall, through your door, bullets at your apartment door, bullets busting out windows, bullets ringing off 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3 in the afternoon, at the bus stop, at the carryout, at the laundromat. That creates a complete lawless society. The Lord does not approve of such a thing. That's got to be put in order. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 17. And if he smite him with throwing a stone,
it says or.
Wherewith he may die.
Or if he hit him. No. Skip up. You started. I don't think you read 18.
Salakia, the one that was 17.
Okay, you still on 17. Salakia, I skipped down. Salakia, go ahead. Hit 17 again. Salakia.
Come, that's what. Numbers chapter 35, verse 17. And if he smite him with throwing a stone, wherewith he may die.
Yeah, if you get angry and you say, man, you doing this wrong, you got to do your job, man. We supposed to have 10 of these done. We got to get off work in 3 hours, man. You ain't been doing your job. What the hell you doing over here? You walk away, man, F you, man. Throw the rock, bust him upside the back of the head. He shake and fall. Bam. Slam his face on the pavement, split the front and the back of the head. He dead. Well, I didn't mean to. I was just, oh, damn, all of that. You made an action, and your action has a consequence. You're not going to sit in prison for 15 years. Letting the white man get free labor, you making parachute and draws for Victoria's Secret. You're not going to sit in prison for 15 years. You forfeited your life when you took action and someone else's life is gone. That's over. That's it. You got to start over the next time you get back because this is the end. You understand? Keep going.
And he died. He is a murderer.
The Lord called you a murderer. The Lord didn't say it's an accident. You got mad, you threw the stone. If the Lord allowed him to die from that, the Lord said you are a murderer. That's what God called you. Don't give a damn what you think about yourself. This is what the Lord said. We got too much of our own personal thoughts and things and not enough of what the Lord said. You understand? This is what the YNs need to learn at 14, 15, 16. This is what they need to learn at 7, 8, and 9 while they learning, how to slide with the Draco and kill the ops from their favorite rapper and throw all the hand signs in there, gang signs. They don't know what they throwing up at 4 and 5 and 6, taking all the pictures, doing this in there. Don't know what GDBD, GKB, rolling this, 20 this, gangster neighborhood. Don't know nothing about none of that. Don't know what they doing in the cities and communities, trafficking, shooting people, getting people strung out on drugs. You understand? Pimping damn kidnapping victims in hotels in other states, drugging them up somewhere like Diddy was doing and Cassie was doing. Don't know nothing about them gang and hand signs you seeing these stupid rappers throw up on a video. But you looking up to them like they something special. You better let them sons and daughters at 5 and 6 and 3 and 4 get and sit in these UPK classes to learn and hear everything that the Lord want all of our people to hear, because Lil Durk don't care. Sexy Red don't care. Megan Thee Stallion don't care. Cardi B don't care. Diddy don't care. You understand? We care. The Lord cares. And he is wiser than us all. These laws the Lord gave for all the children of Israel. Not the adults, not the babies, not the youth, everybody. Your daddy is an Israelite. You're supposed to hear and learn it all. That's why he set up the priests and the prophets. You understand? This is what the Lord want to be known at the time when he rose the prophets up. All right? So you hit him upside the head with a stone, you a murderer. Keep going.
The murderer shall surely be put to death.
You out of here. Game over. Priest gonna take you up out of here. Keep going.
Verse 18, or if he smite him with an hand weapon of wood.
You got something made out of wood. A hand weapon. Whatever you made out of wood. 2x4, whatever. Whatever you can make with wood. You take it, hit somebody with it. However you hit them, they go down and the Lord take their spirit up out their body. Keep going.
Wherewith he may die.
Yep. Go ahead.
And he died.
So you may have attempted to hit him and he might die. But if he actually does, keep going.
He is a murderer.
You keep going.
The murderer shall surely be put to death.
That's it. You up out of here. Give me verse 19.
Verse 19, the revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer.
The revenger of blood himself. Who is the revenger of blood? The cousin, the uncle, the son, the nephew. That's the revenger of blood. You understand? That's who's going to get you. That's in the law. You understand? Without the Spirit of the Lord, there are things that we are already bred to do naturally as a people. We put unnatural things inside of us, like Islam and Christianity, to teach us to look up to a murderer, to teach us to look up to a wicked man, because the religions that we follow have made us so soft and weak that we don't know what our strength is for. So now we look up to a wicked man to teach us what strength is for, what your power is for. That's why it's so important to get in the Isupk, and we build up and make this truth all throughout the world as strong as a shining beacon of light, so that the Spirit of the Lord can reign. And what this will do is it'll teach every brother that you are not allowed to take somebody's life. Your anger, your frustration, if your life is not in danger, it says, what if you unalive in self-defense? It's getting ready to read that. It's going to read it. All of these things, the Lord did not leave anything to change. All of this is written here in the Bible. It's written in there. Give me verse 19. It says, the revenger of blood shall slay the murderer, the unaliver, when he... No, keep going. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
When
put
he,
your question up.
Salaki, when he meeteth him.
When he meet him, when he see you, when he catch you, that's it. Keep going.
He shall slay him.
When he catch you, he's going to slay you. This ain't saying the police is going to take and bring you to justice. No, he has a right to get justice for his family or his brother. He has a right. You understand? That's his right. It's a God-given right. That's why when Christ returns, he's going to send for many hunters to exercise our God-given right to get justice for the hundreds of millions of Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that all of the nations have slaughtered and divided our wealth to get rich and powerful for centuries. The Palestinians don't belong in our land. Neither did we reading about the plains of Moab and Jericho right now, and Jordan right now. The Jordan and Oman and the Emirates and all of that, that's our land. We reading about right now. The only reason they live in our land is because they got together to make sure that we got kicked out. They helped the slave trade going. They moved into our homes. All of that is a crime. The Lord don't look at crime the way that, the white man has taught us to look at crime. All that was 100 years ago. The Lord say, I call those things to pass. I bring all things into remembrance. You understand? The revenger of blood shall slay them himself. That's who's going to do it. Keep going. Verse 20.
Verse 20. But if he thrust him of hatred.
If he hate him and he stab him because he hates you. You understand? Keep going.
Or hurl at him by lane of weight.
If he wait and nobody say they seen me hit him, I'm just waiting till he walked to the spot and then I'm going to cause a rock to drop on his head. I didn't do it. Nobody did it. They call that premeditated murder. That's what Esau calls it. The Lord got all of this recorded in the Bible. You niggas ain't slick. I seen you in them bushes waiting for him to walk by and push that bag of bricks to fall and land on his head and his neck. You ain't saying nobody did it. The bricks just fell out the sky. No, you ain't slick. Where were you when them bricks fell? I was over here I seen that nigga go in the bushes. He was in the bushes about 15 minutes, right where them bricks were. Who else was there? You understand? The place to pee is over there. What you was doing over there by the bushes, with a dead brother at, with 20 bricks laid around his body. You understand? Ain't no snitching rule in the Bible. That's Christianity. We're not supposed to go to another nation to get no justice. We're not even supposed to be dealing with them. You understand? They shouldn't know anything about us. They hated our music. They hated our dances. They hated our hair. They should know that we have a lot of skills, and after work, we go back on our side of town, and they don't know what the hell happens over there. They don't know what's over there. They're not welcome. They're not comfortable. Too much bass, too much drums, too many kids, too many dogs, too much dancing. The food got too much seasoning. It's too clean. They don't want to go over there. They get sick going on the nigga side of town. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it was until Martin Luther King and the civil rights leaders said, we shall overcome. And even though you're going to bust me upside the head with a rock and kill plenty of us, I don't want justice from you. I just want to hug you. That's anti-Christ. That's against the spirit of the Lord. Serving the Lord is not about being a victim, allowing people to victimize you, allowing people to hit you because you're young, because you're short, because you're light-skinned, because you're skinny, because you got an accent, because you're tall, because you're fat, because you're dark, because you're Latino, because you're Mexican, because you're whatever. It's not about being victimized. The Lord is a man of war. You're not allowed to just be a victim and beaten and abused, and that's just your whole life. That's our life in this society, not in the truth, not in here. We don't do that. We don't have that. We get justice. We exercise justice if need be. All right? Lying in wait. You hurl something at him, and he gonna die. Keep going. Lord, get very specific.
That he die. Verse 21.
He died. Let me hold on just as a sidebar. These things are important so that you understand, especially growing up. I can tell you some different instances and things that people may have experienced growing up when brothers and sisters may get into some, tired of each other, living in a house or something like that. They get frustrated and get to fighting and all kind of stuff, and then picking up stuff and start yelling and cursing, I hate you, and this and that, and throwing stuff at each other. You'd better be careful and learn what to do and not do with your anger. A demon will jump on you. Don't think because you're a kid, a demon won't jump on you. The goddamn child molesting Christian preacher put a demon on everybody. You see Diddy. You see all the church pastors. You see Kirk Franklin. You understand? You see R. Kelly. The goddamn child molesting church members put that demon on kids, and they grow up with it, and then it does terrible things to everybody else. You understand? So the spirit of the Lord is very important for all of us at all ages to obey the Most High, so that the Lord will be with us. Because the Lord say, I kill and I make alive. I make peace and I create evil. You understand? The Lord said, if you reject me, I'll reject your children. That's in the Bible. All right. So keep going.
Verse 21. Or in enmity, smite him with his hand.
Or in enmity, you my enemy. We get to fighting. I get to putting these knuckles upside your head, put an elbow in your mouth, put a knee upside your temple. Or an enemy, smite you with my hand. Keep going.
That he may die. That he die.
That he die. Keep going.
He that smote him shall surely be put to death.
Why is the Lord taking all this time to go over these rules about what is a murder, what's not? Because we're going to get in the wilderness, and in the wilderness with all the millions of the children of Israel, anything could jump off. The Lord is a man of war. It took many decades for us to become a nation. You cannot be a man and have a nation and be weak. And after integration, our people got significantly weaker to drugs, weaker to thinking that a politician was supposed to fix your community and not you. Too weak. The church used a woman's mouth to make a man weak. Use the power of the United States government to be able to take a man's kids and get housing and WIC and TANF and SNAP and everything, so that that would replace a man's authority over you and giving a woman charge to do whatever she wants in her life, the kid's life, the community, with the finances. Before you know it, don't nobody even know what the hell a man is. Ain't seen or heard anything about a man in several generations. So much so that it becomes such a strange thing for a man to be a man that they call masculinity toxic. That's how far masculinity has been chased out of the society. You understand? But the Lord had it preserved so our society would not be this way. We got to get a new spirit put into us about how to be and how to deal with each other. A weak man cannot lead. He can't be in charge because there's killers in the city. You understand? Killers is not going to follow a weak man. That's why they'd rather go and become a crip and risk getting a million years in prison than to sit under your church pastor shucking and jiving and spinning in circles, buck dancing. They'd rather go join Zero and be a blood and, risk getting a million years in prison. You understand? These are dynamics that the Lord already put in the Bible. And he put these things here for a reason, so that with the spirit of a warrior inside of you, you know how far you can take your actions. That's why Christ came in the New Testament and said, if thy brother offend thee, before he became your enemy, for you waiting to bust him upside the head with a piece of iron or a brick or a rock, you all had an offense. You didn't like the way he talked to you. You didn't like the way he did something. You were offended at something he did. Christ had to explain, before it gets to the point where you stab him or you lie in wait to take his life, there was an opportunity and incidents that occurred that led up to this. That's why he said, if your brother offended, you got to go to he and thee alone so you can deal with that. Because he that hateth his brother without a cause is the same as a murderer. Because the evil spirit will come and now and teach you to devise a way to take your brother's life or to harm him. You understand? So these are the same lessons that Christ was teaching from in the New Testament. We just did not have the spirit of the Lord because we've been in slavery for hundreds of years. Like right now, we've been in slavery for hundreds of years. Watch what you do. Watch what you say. Learn to control your emotions. You can't take back the actions that you did. You can't accidentally unalive somebody and then they not be dead after you're sorry. You understand? So keep going.
The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer.
The revenge of blood is coming after you. Keep going.
when he meeteth him.
When he meeteth him. All right, give me 22.
Verse 22. But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity.
If he thrust him suddenly, if something just happened and he accidentally thrust means to stab. If he thrust him suddenly without enmity, it's just on the spot. Let's read some more.
Or have cast upon him anything without laying of weight.
He cast something upon him, meaning he throw something, he get hit with something, a rock, a brick, or whatever, but he not laying in wait. He not planning on doing this. Keep going.
Verse 23. Or with any stone.
Or with any stone. If there's any stones or something, we're going to learn about what happens if there's a stone right after we take this quick commercial
Hey, listen,
break.
brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one west. They're one west. They're one west. They're
There, make sure you check out Sad Hard Lessons. Make sure you pay your tithes. Isupk.com. Not fool yourself and think you in the truth. If you are not paying your tithes, do your part to support this nation. Tithes is a commandment. 10% of any penny of any increase the Most High gives to you. Make sure you are paying your tithes. The white man getting ready to steal all your money anyway. They trying to get rid of cash and the dollar as it is. Trump trying to make his own scam Bitcoin. So when they impeach him, all your money gone anyway. The banks is going under left and right. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they making fake accounts. Citibank making fake accounts, letting everybody open fraudulent accounts in your name. Truist getting all kind of trouble. TD Bank laundering money for the damn cartels. Everything going on. You better make sure you put your treasure where your money is, where your treasure is. You understand? All right, so keep going.
Wherewith a man may die.
It's like start over from 35 and 23.
Come on. Numbers chapter 35, verse 23. Or with any stone.
Or with the stone. You hit someone with the stone. Keep going.
Wherewith a man may die.
All right. A man might die. He might die. Keep going.
Seeing him not.
He didn't see him. He threw something. He didn't know you were going to walk in front of the stone and the stone was going to fall on your head. He working in something. He cutting, sawing through a tree. He didn't know you were on the other side and get the hole punch or the pike punch to, put whatever in the ground or something, and it jump off and you walk up there and it swing and crack you in the face and you up out of here. He didn't do it on purpose. Keep going.
And cast it upon him.
It's an accident. Keep going.
That he die.
He up out of here now. Keep going.
And was not his enemy.
This is something also that's very important that the Christian church does not teach our people. Reincarnation is in the Bible. Taking someone's life and losing someone's life is a very important thing. That's why there's 1,000 verses in the Bible about it that most Christians never even knew anything. Who knew that these scriptures were in the Bible, your life growing up before you went in the truth? Whoever had someone open the Bible, you heard thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, don't commit adultery, even though nobody know what the hell adultery is. Who knew that these scriptures in the Bible was saying what God considers a murderer? Who knew this was in the Bible? The water. Sister Sister Rod, y'all must got the fastest high-speed internet in all of Virginia. Is your post come through first? La, right. They didn't talk about it. Nobody even knew these scriptures was in the Bible. Think of all the young brothers that get mad and accidentally kill somebody they got beef with in high school or middle school. And now they don't know that this is in the Bible. It's a demon just lying in wait because ain't nobody taught you the spirit of the Lord to handle a situation where you might end up putting a knife in somebody. You'd be surprised. Yeah, I know you parents probably don't know because y'all been out of school for quite a while. But the last couple of decades, the idea reality about, unaliving your classmates, that beef come up very often. That's not a foreign thing. Most 90% of the homicides is done by people that you already know. People usually unaliving their brother who they've had a beef with since 6th or 7th grade in Miss Jenkins' math class. That everybody was there that day that you said this about me. And, I never let that go. And now here we are 9.5 years later. And, I got the opportunity. And I catch you coming out the store. And, you ain't got it on you. Now we can get even. You understand? Like thinking that there's a better way than what the Lord said. The water to the 4 of y'all that answered my question. To the other 100 people in the class, please respond to these questions that's being asked in there. I don't know if it's your internet connection or not, but I'm going to ask it again. Who else knew that there were commandments in the Bible about what God considers is a murderer? All of these detailed instructions about who did what and what's the charge and all of that. Who knew that was in the Bible? You understand? To everybody else that is not Ra'ayah, Shakal, Tawabav, Deborah, who else knew? The rest of y'all knew maybe. All right. The water Tazarah did not know. She didn't know. All of this stuff is important. These things your kids better learn what God says is a murder and you should not do before they get angry. Half the kids at school got a knife. I know everybody brought a knife to school when I went. Half the kids brought a gun to school. You understand? It was not safe at all. At no point in time was anybody safe. You understand? No sweat, the water. You understand? You had better. Christianity thinks that there's something else. If you just love and we just pray and just bow your heads and just close your hands, that don't help me deal with this beef I got at school. That don't help me deal with these niggas that just jump me. You understand? I tell you what, I'm not getting jumped twice. I tell you what, the last time was the last time I was getting jumped. I tell you that. I bet next time I put a blade in 2-3 people, I bet I don't get jumped no more. Our people had better learn to do and say what God said to teach our sons and daughters. You don't know your daughter thinking about killing one of her classmates. You don't know your son thinking about shooting one of your classmates. You don't know. You think everything going all right. They're not going to come home and tell you about their problems. You're going to find out when everybody else finds out, when the shooting happens. That's when you're going to find out. Unless you teach them and let them get the spirit of the Lord put on them in these UPK classes to learn that in my frustration, I don't go get a knife and prepare to handle the problem. That young brother in Austin, Texas, he had a problem with them 2 white boys and they was a bully. The young brother on the honor roll trying to come to the track meet with the 2 big racist white boys threatening monkeys better not come to the track meet all on the internet. Well, he had a problem and he figured a way to deal with that problem. He didn't have the spirit of the Lord or the wisdom to deal with that problem. And I know for damn sure he didn't tell that loudmouth mother on the damn internet about this bully problem he having at school. I know he didn't tell mommy. You understand? So what did he figure he was going to do in the situation? He thought of a solution with his teenage brain how to solve this problem. And now a white man is dead and he's facing a murder charge. Did they plan on this? Were they raising him to catch a body? They weren't raising King Vaughn. They weren't raising Lil Durk. How did their honor roll teenage son end up catching a body at the track meet? They weren't teaching him what's in this Bible. They taught him something else. Now look what happened. Salaki, you was going to say something, Brother Salaki.
Kind of one. I was just gonna say, we were taught in churches, thou shalt not kill. You're not even taught that it's a path for revenge. It's a path for justice. You just taught not to kill at all.
Yeah, we learned thou shalt not kill. In every city, neighborhood, hood, and barrio, full of killing. Everybody at church. Thou shalt not kill. What happened to so-and-so? Oh, yeah, he killed 2 people. Him from the choir? Yeah. They gave him 45 years. Yeah, he shot 2 people. What happened to little so-and-so? Yeah, he got in a shootout with the police. Him with his mama directing the choir? What happened? He just wild out, man. He just wild out. Don't know what happened. Christians don't never know what happened. That's why you got to be and learn from the men of the Lord. You be trying to guess what happened. You understand? Keep going.
And Salaki, neither sought him harm.
He wasn't trying to do any harm. It just happened. Verse 24.
Verse 24. Then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments.
They're going to listen to the family that's waiting to execute a judgment. You understand? My nephew dead. The congregation, the men of the Lord is hearing this matter. None of this hear no evil, speak no evil. Damn that. It's real matters that got to get resolved. We ain't got time to singing and dancing around and all this old stupid stuff you learning in church. People getting killed. That's the issue. We go to camp, you hear brothers talking about, I want to talk about trading stocks. You got to learn about the being on your square and the great nebulous and all of these things there. And I could teach 1 people and 1 person could teach 5 people. And before you know it, we could flip the money. Okay, well, now 2 of them are dead. Now what? See why you got to focus on the negative. We got to look on the bright side. Okay, what are we going to do about these 2 dead brothers? Because that's the concern right now. We're going to skip past that and go do something else, right? Until you are one of the 2 dead brothers. Then we're going to make it a priority. Like Christianity put us at such a disadvantage. The Lord had everything to prepare us for life the way he set it up. And Christianity stripped all of that preparation from us and sent us out into a goddamn jungle filled with evil spirits and predators that have been tearing us apart for centuries. Keep going, Yagadar.
Verse 25. And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood.
Salaki, this is how it's supposed to happen. The state is not bringing charges for this crime. They don't let you air out your grievances about the fact that this person killed your nephew or killed your sister or your daughter. The state and the prosecutor get to talk about the crime because it's a capital case. You don't get to face the bastard that killed your daughter. You don't get to yell at them and curse them. You killed my daughter, you son of a... You don't get to air out your frustration. You can't even speak in the goddamn courtroom. You're supposed to sit there and just be sad. You can't jump up and yell and punch him in the head or nothing. You just got to sit there and just be mad and order in the court. Order in the court. Nah, that's not right. That ain't the Lord's way. That's an unrighteous thing. The revenger of blood is there, not the state. The man who, depending on how this case go, you understand, Uncle Russell get ready to put a blade in your chest because you killed my niece, you killed my daughter, you killed my nephew, you killed my son. You understand? We're going to get justice today, not after you do 20 years in prison working for the military. making parachutes and uniforms and furniture. You understand? The congregation is going to hear it. The body of men, the authority is going to hear it. The family is going to hear it. The cousin ready to take your life is going to hear it. We're going to all get to the bottom of this together. You understand? This ain't going to be no secret. This ain't going to be no, we're going to adjourn and we going to lunch and we're going to come back and continue the case in a week and a month. No, it'll be none of that. We're going to get this matter dealt with. You need to go. You need to go. You're going to get gone. We're not going to have a murderer being alive, walking around, living good. You understand? Keep going. Give me 25 from the top.
Come. Numbers chapter 35, verse 25. And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood.
The congregation is going to say, nah, what this brother did was an accident. He was not supposed to do this. This brother was not supposed to die. For whatever reason, the Lord decided to take his life, but she did not mean to do this. He did not mean to do this. We've heard the matter. Everyone has spoke. No, you understand? It's better if this did not happen, but this is a big deal. Keep going.
And the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge.
He's going to get an escort back to the safe city of refuge. He doesn't get to go back home. You don't get to go back to his wife and kids, back to his job with his comfortable bed and his shoes and all his favorite shirts and jerseys and his garments and the good, delicious food that his wife and kids make. You don't get to go back there. You took somebody's life. You're not going back to yours. You still get to live, but you don't get to go back to yours the way it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Keep going.
Whether he was fled.
Whichever one he made it to. That's why he said at the beginning, set up cities of refuge, because we start to build a society and we get these cities and everybody got to work together. Everybody might not follow the rules. Might have to get some straightening going on. Niggas ain't just going to do the right thing by default. If that's what you think, and if that's what Christianity made you think, everybody going to do the right thing out of the goodness of their heart. That's not real life. That's not how it works. You're going to do the right thing out of the kindness of my sword. That's going to help you do the right thing. You would do it, but there's priests running around with that sword. They put that sword in you. So maybe we should obey the Lord. The Lord want to help you out. Want to help you. You don't get a choice. You understand? All this freedom of choice, that's the oppressor's way to allow you to destroy yourself. The Lord didn't give all these damn choices. Every society across the world is not giving you a million choices to everything. All of that is a fairy tale that America sold so they can capitalize. We believe in all of this freedom and choice and have $1 trillion of buying and spending power in America that every race of people is getting a piece of every single year. Because we the only stupid people that think we got all these damn choices in the country. And nobody else got all this choice but us. That's not real life. We being suckered in America. Keep going.
He shall abide in it until the death of the high priest.
The high priest, he's going to live in that city of refuge. The high priest that's over that city, he has to stay there. If that high priest is 60 and the Lord take him in 61, he got to do 1 year. If he's 60 and the Lord let him live to 92, he going to stay in that city of refuge to 92. Even if it was an accident. Keep going.
Which was anointed with holy oil.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 26. But if the slayer shall at any
Hold
time.
on, brother. Hold on, Yagadar. This ain't a comic book, brother. Hit that butt. Hit the butt if properly. Do it one more time.
But
there you go.
If the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge.
If he ever step foot out of that city of refuge and they catch him, keep going.
Whether he was fled.
Whichever one he made to, he got to stay in that city. Keep going.
Verse 27. And the revenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge.
If he get caught outside that city, you catch him. Keep going.
And the revenger of blood kill the slayer.
They might not let it go. That's what the court said. They're going to make sure you make it back to the city of refuge, but you better not leave that city of refuge. That's what the court said. All right, they're going to escort him and make sure he make it there. That's what they said. If you step outside that city of refuge, we didn't forget that my sister is still gone. That's not going to go away magically because of the court case. It ain't gonna my sister not gonna magically not be dead no more. My brother not gonna come back to life now that you've been spared the judgment because they found out it was an accident. You better not leave that city. We out here. Keep going.
He shall not be guilty of blood.
He not guilty if he catch you. You wasn't supposed to leave that city of refuge. You, in essence, are imprisoned in that city. You got a whole city to live there. You can't never leave Richmond again. Until the high priest died, you can't leave Richmond. If you go to Petersburg and they catch you in Petersburg, that's on you. You wasn't supposed to leave Richmond. You go to Henrico, that's on you. You wasn't supposed to leave Richmond. You go to Dinwiddie, that's on you. You wasn't supposed to leave Richmond. Keep going.
Verse 28. Because he should have remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the high priest.
Those are the rules. You think it's a joke if you want. Nobody playing. You should have stayed in that city until the high priest died. Keep going.
But after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession.
Now you get to go home if the high priest is gone. If the high priest that's in charge of that city of refuge, if he died, you can now go back home to your wife, your kids, and your family. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 29. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations and all of your dwellings.
Everywhere you are, these going to be your laws and your rules forever. All right, give me verse 30.
Verse 30. Whoso killeth any person,
if you kill any person, keep going,
the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses.
Witnesses. Can't just be by one person. Keep going.
But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die.
One witness ain't good enough. Got to be sure. Because this person's life is going to get taken. Somebody could have lied. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 31. Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer.
No bribe, no payoff, no probation, no parole, no I'm sorry, no don't tell nobody. Nothing is supposed to satisfy you for the life of this murderer. Nothing. Not a gift, a promissory note, or oops, or not, nothing. Nothing. The Bible says the voice of the slain Israelites, the blood cried to the Most High for vengeance. The blood cries to the Lord. Everybody want to believe in Santeria and voodoo and magic and hoodoo, all this other stuff. Well, this is what's actually in the Bible. Christianity teaches you to be scared of magic and monsters and wizards and all that stuff. That's because Christianity puts them evil spirits on you. The reality is you take somebody's life, that blood cries to the Lord for justice. That's real. You understand? And the land will fall to lawlessness if you allow murderers and evil to run rampant in the people that's in your city. You're required to rule that city. You understand? Keep going.
Which is guilty of death.
He's guilty. Keep going.
But he shall be surely put to death.
That's it. You're out the game. Surely. Death is not something that's a magical, mystical thing like the Christian church teaches. The Lord passed judgment all the time. Death is all around us. It's not some magical, mythical one-time thing. You die, you born back again in a couple of generations. Life is important. How you live your life, how you treat the other people who are alive around you, the life that you live serving the Most High, how you treat your brothers and sisters, how you deal right with them, the children of your people, not to join another people and be a traitor. That's what life is important about. You're going to die and come back again like you've done many times before. Christianity makes death and life magical. A Disney movie, you float off into the cloud and you look up and it's the sun and you're talking to your dead relatives. That's not real. Christianity puts us in a state of not living the way that the Lord said, what the Lord called spirituality. You die, you come back. You're born again into the earth. There's a time to be sad. There's also a time to get over it because they'll be back again. You'll be back again. That's why the Lord said, fear not them which can kill the body, but not destroy thy soul. You understand? And thy soul and thy body in hell, which is talking about the Most High. The Lord don't want you walking around being afraid of everybody. You understand? Being a coward, being weakling. That's not the spirit of the Lord. That's not our spirit. That's not how we operate. You understand? It doesn't make you be a monster or someone evil. It just does make you to not be a victim or weak. You understand? The job of the religions is to make us too weak to face reality. Wicked men are a danger. Wicked women are a danger. If you protect and make excuses for the wickedness, you will put everyone in danger. You cannot control how you carry, act, and behave yourself. You are a danger. Babies are dangerous because you don't know what the hell they're going to do. That's why you spend so much time training a baby. You got to teach them diligently. That's why the Lord said, teach this to thy children. You understand? 14 years of not teaching what the Lord said to your children, you'll raise a kidnapper, a shooter. You understand? That's why it's in the Bible. The Lord's way is much better. All right? Keep going. What you got?
Verse 32. And ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge.
You can't take a bribe or nothing. Okay, he in there. You're going to let him go. It's not that big a deal. The high priest, he old. He could die anyway. You go ahead back home. Not taking no bribe. This is the rules the Lord set up. The Lord don't change. We're going to keep these rules irregardless of what anybody thinks or who doesn't like it. It's irrelevant. It's not negotiable. If you jump in the air, gravity's going to bring you down. If you go underwater, you try to breathe, you're going to drown. These are non-negotiables. The Lord's word is non-negotiable. The sooner you learn, better life will go. Keep going.
That he should come again to dwell in the land.
That's right. We're not changing anything. That's why it's saying exactly what it said 11 verses up, because Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are hard-headed. Keep going.
Until the death of the priest.
Until the priest dies. That, again, that is not some magical thing. People live. You're going to live, and the Lord gives everybody a chance and a time to live, and then there's a time when you die. It happens to all of us. It's supposed to happen. It's not supposed to happen the way that it happens so often with our people, and that is because we are not obeying the Most High. That's why it's so important to learn these laws. But it's not something magical. You die, you come back a couple of generations later. You are not supposed to spend your entire life mourning the loss of someone 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. You're not supposed to stay in some traumatic incident forever. You're not supposed to stay there. That's why you come into the truth to be born again. You're not supposed to measure your entire life by some, period of traumatic events. Our people are stuck in a period of reliving traumatic events over and over again, trying to smoke it away, trying to drink it away, trying to do everything away. That's why you got to come into the truth and be born again. Learn how to filter your life through things the way that the Lord said to filter them. This is why the scripture said, ye are washed and cleansed through the washing of the water by the word. That's why you got to come to class. Keep going.
Verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
Why did the Lord give all these rules? Read it again.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
You will pollute the land if you let murderers go everywhere. You'll pollute it. Keep going.
For blood it defileth the land.
Shedding blood defiles the land. You will bring the curse on your land. Damn voodoo and hoodoo and Santeria. You will bring a curse on your land. God will send you a curse. Not from Shakta and Shanti and the boo-boo and the hoodoo and the loa. God will bring the curse. He'll bring it. That's why he's given these instructions. Keep going.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that it shed therein.
The land can't be cleansed. The land got to be cleansed. That's why the Lord going to destroy America. America has shed so much blood. This land has to be cleansed. The Lord hates this place. You shouldn't love America beyond enjoying yourself, looking at the flowers, looking at the ducks and the birds and the waters and the trees. You can enjoy it. The Lord put things here for us to enjoy, but understand that this is an evil place. And whatever age you are and whatever amount you can understand, outside of the truth in the UPK, you are seeing things that are operated in an evil place. When things are done that's against the Most High. When you go to school, when you go to see your family in places that are not in the truth, and you see some man behaving like a woman, that's against the Most High. You see a woman, being with multiple men, that's against the Lord. A woman leaving her man, your friend, your cousin, your aunt, your sister. She's not allowed to leave her man and go get another man. You see your cousins, your brother, your friends leaving his girlfriend for another girlfriend or leaving his wife for a new woman. You're not allowed to leave your woman. That's against the Lord. You aren't allowed to smoke anything, crack, weed, tobacco, cigarettes, pills, syrup. You aren't allowed to do this. You aren't allowed to take medication just because you're sad or upset. You aren't allowed to drink your medicine and your cough and flu medicine because, it's a fun thing to do. Everything the Lord has created a purpose. You can't eat whatever everybody else eats. You may see your mother or your grandmother or your cousins or your brothers or sisters that eat shrimp or eat crab or eat pork, but you are not allowed to do that because the Lord gave us commandments to not eat unlawful things. You know this. You understand? So keep going.
But by the blood of him that shed it.
The blood of him that shed it. That's why our oppressor must pay for the crimes that he have done, because he is not allowed to shed our blood, and he did for centuries. It was a very bad thing that he did to our people. And he must learn, he must pay for what he's done, just like the Lord says in the righteous spirit that someone who sheds innocent blood should pay for what they have done. God is going to make them pay. As soon as we turn back and keep his commandments, he will make our oppressor pay for the crimes he has done against us. All right, so give me 34.
Verse 34. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit.
You should not defile the land that you have to live there. You should not do it. There are many things that defile a land. You can open the door so that evil happens on your land. Before you know it, I'll give you an example and you'll see this. This is how things or places become a hood or a project. Before, the concentration of where we were as a people was a safe place for our families, because we were all there together, and on the white side of town, they would hurt you if you were not white. So we had to make our side of town the best and the safest that we could make it. We had to make our next generation stronger, wiser, and more prepared to build up our side of town, which we have to do yet again because we stopped doing it once we integrated. All right. So now, let's say some kids want to start to skip school. They want to start to skip school. The parents are at work. They go back home. They're in the house eating up all the snacks. Mom come home. She want to know why the hell all the food is gone. All the juice is gone. What happened to all the lunch meat and the snacks? Kids at home eating all the snacks. One day, one kid gets introduced because he's already got an unlawful spirit. He don't want to be in the proper place where he's supposed to be. I know a lot of kids are getting homeschooled now, so it might be a little different now. But I'll just use this as an example. Your friends, your cousins, somebody, you might see these things happening down the line. Now, you decide you're not going to go to school. You want to skip school and hang out at home. You get some more buddies, want to skip school, hang out at home. Then you want to hang out with them. Next thing you know, one kid brings a cigarette. They're not at school. They ain't at school. They hanging out. What are we going to do? We're going to party and play video games. We're eating up all the food. We out of food. So how are we going to get some more food without mom knowing we at home eating up all the food and all the leftovers? Now what we got to do, we got to go and steal something. We got to come up with some money. We can't work. We're supposed to be at school. Now we got to steal. We start off stealing out of a store, snatch some candy, run into 7-Eleven, run out real quick. That's why you have signs now that say, no kids without adult, no backpacks, no this. Why? Kids running in this, snatching stuff, running out. Okay. Now you're stealing sandwiches. Now you're stealing food. You're stealing sandwiches. Now you want to get high. Somebody gets introduced to something to smoke. They steal a cigarette from their neighbor's porch, steal a Black and Mild. Before you know it, you're stealing. Now you're getting high. Somebody comes with some weed. Now you get introduced to weed. Maybe you don't smoke the weed. Eventually, you're skipping school. You ain't going to class. Now you're stealing. You're getting high. You're developing a drug addiction. Now they want to play games. They want to do the kissing game and this game. Before you know it, this whole thing that spiraled into a damn mess. Now you steal something. When you're supposed to be at school, you develop a drug problem. Now you got truancy on your record. You're about to get suspended. The police is getting involved. Your mama's in trouble because you're not showing up to school. The Commonwealth is coming to see you about them truancy days. You don't show up to school in Virginia, you going to jail. They're going to put you on probation and you going to jail. You going to juvie for not going to school. Virginia's not playing with you. You understand? At least Northern Virginia wasn't playing. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if it's different in other counties. I ain't lived in all the counties. I lived in a number of them. Most of them, you going to jail. Commonwealth ain't playing. Before you know it, now you got a court date. You got a drug addiction. You got to feed somewhere. You didn't grow up with your buddies stealing. Then they might want to join a gang. You're skipping school, getting high. You're stealing now. Why not join a gang? You got an older criminal who messed up his life for 10 years. He about 10 years older than you. You're looking up to some criminal. You just hanging around, breaking the law as it is. Before you know, they convince you to join some gang. Now you're beating people up. You're robbing. You're stealing for the gang. Before you know it, now you're in trouble. You're in a gang, in a group. One of your gang members want to show off. You beating somebody up, just hanging out, having fun, skipping school, getting high, and now he stabbed somebody because he want to be super, super gang. Well, the person they stabbed almost died. Now, because you hanging out, skipping school, getting high, living the fast life, before you know it, now you tied up in this attempted murder charge. Just from hanging out. None of this would have happened. You just went to school. And now, if enough people know, oh, we're going to hang out over there. Why? They skip school and get high over there. So if I want to rob people that steal, we going over there because that's the hood. Now they're going to grow up and do what? Become the Kia boys. They're going to steal cars. Now the girls that want to hang with the action. They want to hang with you in the stolen car. Before you know it, the whole damn neighborhood getting your car stolen. The people who want to steal cars show up to the neighborhood. The people who want to skip school show up to the neighborhood. Now we need money. Well, you got all the kids hanging out with you. Why not start selling drugs? Now this neighborhood is a drug neighborhood. It's a gang neighborhood. Kids skipping school. They writing graffiti in the laundromats on the side of the buildings. They busting out windows. They stealing cars. Now people show up here to commit crime. They snatching purses. The school skip party is over here in this neighborhood. Before you know it, you done turn this community into a damn hood. Everybody want to come here. You want to come and make a name for yourself? We're going to go over there and beef with them because this neighborhood is the hood now. We're going to go over there and fire some shots in the air to make that neighborhood hot so we can get our name and our reputation up. Before you know it, the whole damn city end up defiled with this wickedness because it starts somewhere. You didn't even realize that. It starts somewhere. These things the Lord put in the Bible so we can learn not to defile the land. It's much bigger than just what you thinking or what you feeling at the time. The demon understands. In a lawless society, these things are allowed to happen. That's why the men of the Lord are supposed to run the city. And in the cities that's not filled with the Levites, guess who runs the houses? The strong man. This prevents all of this from happening. You want to know what that strength is for, brother? You coming to UPK. You want to be tough and strong? This is where the tough and strong men go. This is what you do with your strength. This how you get strong. This what you be. This how you be a warrior. This what you do with it. This how you deal with your issues at school. This how you attack this problem. Because in an evil society run by the devil, Satan will show you how to deal with your problem. The white man has a solution to your problem. And at the end, it's going to be to put him in a position so that he can punish you for breaking his law that he told you to break. Because he's the devil the Bible speaks of. You understand? So that's the end of Numbers, the 35th chapter. All right. We're going to pick up next week. All right. Most High in Christ. Go ahead and clap it up. That's the end of Numbers, 35th chapter. We're getting it in. All right. We're going to do the Isupk security announcements. We're going to go ahead and read those off. You got them, Yagadar. You got it.
We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. If a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment found in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, you want to give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. There's also a priest fund. That's a free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory in whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the closing of the Feast of First Fruits this Sunday, June 8th. Stay tuned or look at the social media or call the number for the school, 757-550-1204 for more information about it. If any brother, sister, if any brother wants to be a trooper coming into the school, make sure you're all black shirt, hoodie, headband, war scarf, boots. Come in ready to get that work in. If any sister wants to be a part of the school, call that number again, 757-550-1204.
All right. And it's reiterate on that. We got the high holy day that is coming up this Sunday. You understand? The school, Sabbath service, the high holy day department should be reaching out to everybody this week. Get everything prepared down at our school in Norfolk. Make sure that you are there, available to make it. Tithes, make sure you go right to isupk.com. You'll be able to pay your tithes right online. Put your information in, to email you your confirmation and receipt right to your email. It said we do have a school. We'll be opening soon. Send in all your donations. Bring them with you. You understand? Because we do have a school. You understand? Our first school here in Virginia, in Norfolk. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Barak. To the sisters, Yahweh Shamar Alathan by Shem Yahushua. You understand? With that, class dismissed. Tune in right here every Friday night. Lashawan Kwadash, Mataza Akara, Officer Yagadah. Learn to read, write, and speak the ancient Hebrew. You understand? With that, Bomb.
Man, it's gonna save all them tapes.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.